everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I really hope you're doing okay and having a great day and an amazing week. My name is Effy and today we are doing a full face testing e.l.f. cosmetics. e.l.f. is a relatively inexpensive brand that you can buy pretty much anywhere. I always thought e.l.f. was more expensive than it was, but it was very cheap. I did buy most of this stuff during their Black Friday sale, but I will be stating their prices throughout at the price they are normally listed on the website for. I will say the first couple of products I forgot to state the price for, but I will be putting their prices on screen and in the description box in case you're interested. Everything on my face will be linked down in the description box, so if you are interested in checking any of it out, please do just look down there. If you like this video, please do give it a big thumbs up, and if you like my content, please consider subscribing. It's all makeup content and it is free to subscribe, so come and join. It's a barrel of laughs. It's great fun. But other than that, I will let you enjoy the video. Okay, so let's make a start. A few things I have to mention about my skin. It is typically normal / combination. I get a little bit oily around my T-zone. I do currently have dry patches like right underneath my eyes, so the concealer and foundation probably won't sit well over them. I don't know what's going on. For primer, I have the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. I just had to try this. This is just such a favourite. I feel like everybody loves it. I have no idea how much to use. Okay, so I was actually able to warm it up to the point where I made a little dent in it, which was a bit more useful because I could get some more product out. Overall, my skin feels actually quite hydrated and smooth, but we'll see how foundation sits over it. And the foundation I have is right here. It is the Flawless Satin Foundation in the shade Pearl. I'm almost certain I ordered like the lightest neutral shade. It looks a little dark, but let's give it a go. As always, I'm going to do half my face with a sponge and half with a brush just to see which one works better. Okay, weirdly for once, I actually think I prefer it with a brush. The shade actually is completely fine. It looks like it's matching my neck quite nicely. It's a nice foundation. It's got a little bit of a glow to it. That'll be the satin finish. I've not taken it right under my under eyes just because of that dry skin, so I can't tell you how it's sitting on that. But so far, it looks quite nice. Coverage, I'd say it has like medium coverage. You can still see like the spots I have and things like that, although this one, nothing covering it. I don't even know where it's come from. Also, it does have a scent to it. You can smell it. I can't smell it as much anymore, but I can smell it like on my brush and on my sponge, so bear that in mind if you're sensitive to smells. Time for concealer, and I picked up the Hydrating Camo Concealer Satin Finish in the shade Fair Beige. Again, this was probably just the lightest neutral shade. It has quite a big doe-foot, which we like. Let's give it a go. Okay, first of all, that blended out like a dream. However, I do think it's slightly darker than the foundation, which is why I put it on my blemishes as well, because it wasn't quite a brightening shade for me. It doesn't look much darker on my face, but when I put it on, it did look a little bit darker than the foundation. But it did blend out like an absolute dream, and I think it's giving me decent coverage on my under eyes. Also, it's not sitting like perfectly over my dry patch under my eye, but I've seen worse. It's not that bad. And it does feel quite lightweight, which is great for under the eyes, particularly when they're as tired as mine are. Now usually I would be powdering down my face right about now, but I have a cream bronzer. This is the e.l.f. Putty Bronzer in the shade Tan Lines. I've never used a cream bronzer before, ever. I do also have a powder bronzer, so I'm actually only going to be using this on half of my face so that we can use the powder bronzer on the other side. It might look a bit weird, but I'm not leaving the house today. I actually have other videos to film after this, so I'll be taking it off anyway. But this is this one, and we're going to try it on this side of my face. It's quite a subtle bronze, but I think that could work well depending on what look you want to go for. I do think it looks quite nice. It's quite a nice shade as well. It's not too warm. I was worried it was going to be a little bit too warm, but I think it looks quite nice on my skin tone. It would work really well for a no makeup type look. I actually quite like it. And it being lighter and a bit more subtle makes it so much easier to work with. I would be terrified if it came out like bronze. So actually I quite like it, and I tested the XX Revolution cream blush last month and I really liked that too. So maybe cream products aren't as bad as I thought they were. So now I'm going to powder down, and I have the e.l.f. HD powder. Does this have a shade name? I don't think so. It's white. It's very white, in case you're wondering. Oh, it has a little thing in the lid saying pour powder here, and I think it has like a twisty like stopper type situation, so you can sort of turn the cap and it stops the powder coming out, I assume. Okay, I'm already noticing it is very, very finely milled. Okay, that was so finely milled. It was just powdering all over the place. But I do think it's done a decent job at mattifying my face. It does feel nice and set. I do think it's lightened my foundation a little bit. I put a little bit too much on over here and I feel like it's lightened it a fair amount. But overall it's quite nice. I do think it has a scent to it, just like everything else so far apparently. But overall, I don't look too bad. My under eyes crease because they always crease. But even on the dry patches, my skin isn't looking too bad, to be honest. So I think I should even up my bronzer, and I've picked up this one. This is the e.l.f. Primer Infused Bronzer in the shade Forever Sunkissed, I think. Let's give this a go. Again, I think that looks quite nice. It's very subtle. I think I'm noticing a theme here, but it is nice, and actually I think it matches the cream bronzer quite nicely, and I quite like both of them. It would completely depend as to what sort of look I'm going for when it comes to which one I would pick, but they both work really well. Now for blush, I have quite a few options. Okay, so first of all I have this. Now you are noticing a bit of pan there. I ordered this off the e.l.f. website. This is the e.l.f. Bite Size Face Duo in the shade White Peach. These come with a blush and a highlight. When my order arrived, the highlight was smashed. However, I wasn't going to send it back because it was only £3 and I still have the blush, so I'm happy with that. And they actually sent me a free gift with my order, which I'll come to in a moment, which is worth £9. So I wasn't really going to complain, and I could just pop to Superdrug and pick up a new one of these. So I still have the blush, so that is blush option number 1. I then have the one that I picked up in Superdrug. I actually picked up in a different shade. This is the shade Cantaloupe, and I more picked this up for the highlight because the blush is kind of a yellowy blush. I wish I could pull off yellowy blush, but I don't think I can. But I have it there for an option if I want to ever test it. And then this came free with my order. It is the Powder Blush Palette, and I think it's in the shade Light. Yeah, Light. So there are 4 blushes in there. So I think I'm going to test this shade, but I also want to test one of these. So this one has a bit of shimmer in it, so does that one. I might go in with a little bit of this shade, maybe a little bit of this shade too. We'll see. But I'm going to start with this one. Okay, I really like that shade. It's blended quite nicely with my bronzer, to be honest. It is quite peachy. I quite like it. I don't think I have a shade quite like this one in my collection, which is always nice. Let's test a different blush on this side. And I'm going to go in with this shade down here. Okay, that shade is a little bit more of a standard me shade, but actually I'm quite liking this one. They both look really nice. They both blended easily. They both look nice on the skin. Yeah, pigmented but not too pigmented, easy to work with, all those good things. So far I'm really enjoying e.l.f. products. Now for highlight, again, I have a couple of options. I have this one which came in the bite size duo, which looks very nice. And because I had to go and buy a new one of these, I went to Superdrug, picked up this, and they had a deal on where if you bought like, I think it was £9 worth of e.l.f. products, you got a free gift. So that's 2 free gifts I've had so far from e.l.f. And the free gift was this. It is the baked highlight in the shade Moonlight Pearl, which is a nice shade. Again, I think I will just test both. So going in with the baked highlight in Moonlight Pearl on this side of my face. It's quite nice. It's not too intense in my opinion, and it doesn't look overly glittery. I think that's a really nice shade. It doesn't give me a cast, and I think they have this in another shade, probably a slightly darker shade as well. Now I'm going to test out the highlight in the face duo. This is in the shade Cantaloupe. Okay, I think that one is a touch more intense, but they are both really nice, and actually they're kind of similar shades, I think. Maybe this one's a little bit warmer and this one's a touch more icy, but they are very similar shades. So I'm just going to go in with this one down my nose. Okay, let's move on to eyes, so I'm going to zoom you in a little bit. Actually, no I'm not. First we're going to test out some setting spray. This is the Makeup Mist and Set. This is just their standard one. I think they have maybe 2 or 3 different setting sprays, but I just went for their standard one. Okay, that feels quite nice. Okay, so it felt quite nice. There are some like bigger splotches on my face where it might have come out a bit too strong to start with. That's my fault. The first spray I normally spray somewhere that's not my face, but I did not do that today. I think it's helped the powder situation a little bit. I think it's just brought a bit of moisture back to my face, which is really nice. Yeah, I quite like it. My under eyes look terrible. Just warning you for when we're about to zoom in. You see how bad my under eyes are? They look like they belong to like a 50-year-old woman. So I did pick up an eye primer. I have too many eye primers, but I couldn't resist. This is the Putty eye primer in the shade White. I think I'm going to treat this relatively similar to my collection Lasting Perfection Stretch Concealer and Eye Primer, and just go in with a brush. It has blanked out my eyelid quite nicely. I mean, not perfectly, but good enough. I have 2 of the e.l.f. bite size eyeshadow palettes. I have Acai You and Berry Bad. So they look like this. I have quite a few different ones of them. I think I'm mainly going to stick to the Berry Bad one. This came in a glossy box. This one I won in a giveaway. Yeah, I'm going to stick to Berry Bad. So I'm just taking quite a big fluffy brush and dipping into the lightest matte shade. Okay, so what I'm noticing is that my eyelid has a bit more texture than usual, but I think that's down to the eye primer, not the eyeshadow. The eyeshadow itself is looking quite nice. It is quite a soft colour, so it's not a lot of pigment on my eye right now, but it is a really good transition shade. Now on a rather stained brush, I'm going in with the darker matte shade. They are looking so nice together. Okay, this might completely ruin it, but I'm willing to take that risk. I kind of want to take the darkest matte shade out of this and just put the tiniest amount on my outer corner. I know it's a blue shade, but I'm hoping it won't look too blue on the eyes. Okay, I don't think that looks too bad. They blended together quite nicely, which would lead me to think that if you had a few of these palettes in like similar colour schemes, I realised the two colour schemes I have are very different, but if you had some similar colour schemes, you could easily work them together as like one bigger palette. I think I'm going to go for this shade on my like inner corner, and then a little bit of this shade just a bit further out, just to test them both. Okay, so you can probably see I got quite a bit of fallout from that first copper shade. That could be my fault. I could have just taken too much on my brush. I'm going to attempt to brush it away. Yep, it's gone absolutely fine. I'm just going to take those same brown shades along my lower lash line as well. Okay, I'm quite liking this look. My only complaint is that there's no inner corner highlight shade here. So I'm just going to grab the Baked Highlighting Moonlit Pearl and put that on my eye. Okay, that worked quite nicely. Now I'm going to do my brows and mascara on this eye, and then I will go off camera and catch up the other eye all at once. So for brows, I have this. It is the Ultra Precise Brow Pencil, and I think I got the shade Blonde. As always, there is a spoolie on one end, and it is a micro brow pencil on the other, so let's give this a go. Okay, so I realised the colour might be slightly too light for my hair right now, and you can't really see where I've drawn on my tail too much. Also, the shade Blonde is quite a warm blonde. I prefer a cool blonde because my hair is a bit more cool toned. My main complaint though, this pencil is so hard. I had to like really sort of dig into my skin, and it's not wearing down much at all. You really do have to put some pressure on this to get some payout, which isn't, you know, my favourite. I'd rather have a creamier formula. But I don't think this is bad. It has done a good enough job. It's just the fact that it's such a hard formula. I really don't like it. I just think it's quite painful, to be honest. So, not my favourite. Sorry about that. Now I have a mascara. If you watched my collection videos, I don't know if it's already up. It should be. After I open this mascara, I'm not opening another mascara until I've finished up some of the ones I have that are already open. So after this testing video, if I test more brands, I won't be testing their mascaras. Sorry. I just can't use up however many I have open. So this is the last one I'm opening. And this is the Lash It Loud Volumizing Mascara. Okay, so I accidentally got some on my lower lash line, but that is fixable. I quite like this mascara. I think it's done a good job at giving me separation, and it's definitely blackened my lashes. I don't think it's given me much length, but it's not quite my firm favourite. I think that the I Heart Revolution Tasty Avocado Mascara is along the same lines as this, just slightly better. It works well enough. I don't know how we'll be able to see. For some reason my lashes always look terrible on camera, and they don't look too bad in real life, I promise. But it's not a bad mascara. It will get used, obviously. Now I'm going to go off camera and catch up my other eye, and we'll come back and do a lip. Okay, so this is how we're looking, a little bit more symmetrical. I will say I did find that with the shimmers in the eyeshadow palettes, they work really well if you wet them with a setting spray, so I did do that. Yeah, the brow pencil is just not my favourite. My brows are not looking their best. I realise it's the wrong colour for me, but honestly the pencil is just so difficult to use. I will use it up, but it's just not my favourite. Just ignore this brow, it did not go to plan. Let's move on to lips, and I actually have two lip products here. I picked up this one, which is the Hydrating Core Lip Shine in the shade Joyful. And these look so cool. They have a little heart in the middle. I will show you close up. See that? You see how cute that is? I also had to pick up a liquid lipstick. This is the Sheer Matte Liquid Lipstick in the shade Nude Rose. So I'm going to test out this one first because I think it will come off a lot easier. So this is the Hydrating Core Lip Shine in the shade Joyful. I kind of don't want to mess it up, but I guess I'm going to have to. Okay, I love that. That is amazing. First of all, it smells like watermelon, I think. That is so nice. It's such a nice colour as well. It goes with the eyes really nicely. I really like that. It's basically just a tinted lip balm, but it looks cute, it smells nice, and I actually really like the shade. They have quite a few of these. I might see if I can pick it up in some other shades. Okay, so I've just taken that off. I kind of didn't want to take it off, but time to give this a go. Okay, so the doe foot is a little sort of like teardrop shape, and it has a little hole in the middle. That is there to help hold products so you don't have to dip in as much. Okay, the application isn't great because it was so much more liquidy than I was expecting it to be. It almost had the consistency of like a lip oil. It feels super nice and not drying on my lips. I know it says sheer, but I think it's given quite a good level of colour and pigment and coverage. I think again it goes quite nicely with the eyes and it doesn't feel drying at all. That thinner texture really has helped it to feel a lot lighter on my lips, I guess. Okay, so there we go. That is my full face of e.l.f. makeup. What do you think? I am actually so impressed considering how inexpensive these products were. I look quite nice. My blush is a little bit intense, but when isn't it? I am so impressed. I would say the standout products for me were the Putty bronzer, the face duos, I quite like those, and actually the blush palette I quite liked as well. And both of the lip products, but this is probably the favourite of the video, the Hydrating Core Lip Shine thing. I love this. This is going to get used up so quickly. I would say the only bad product in this video was the eyebrow pencil. I'm also not mad over the eye primer. It was quite matte and drying and didn't look great on my eyes, but other than that I'm relatively pretty happy with the full face I have on right now. Let me know what you think of my full face down in the comment section. Let me know if you've tried anything from e.l.f. and what you thought of it. But other than that, I will let you go and have a great day and an amazing week. If you like this video, please do give it a big thumbs up, and if you like my content, please consider subscribing. It's all makeup content here, so if that sounds like your thing, then this is the place for you. But other than that, have a great day and an amazing week, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!